Welcome back, and thank you so much for keeping it tuned here on NBC. Now we are continuing with our conversations in the first hour of this morning's program. The Otjozondjupa Regional Council is hosting Namibia's upcoming National ICT in Education Summit, which is a 4-day event under the theme Co-Creating Namibia's Digital Future. This summit is dedicated in shaping the future of digital learning and innovation in the country. Joining us telephonically with more on the National ICT Summit agenda is the Educational Regional Director of Otjozondjupa, Gerard Ndafenongo. Good morning, sir, and thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Hi, good morning, Elago, and to the viewers.
Yeah. Could you please talk to us about the preparations for the Namibia's upcoming Regional ICT in Education Summit? How are they going along?
Well, thank you. We are busy pulling together a very exciting program. It's probably the 6th edition now, where we are organizing an ICT in Education Summit to see how we can integrate ICT in teaching and learning, as well as to equip both the teachers and the learners to harness and benefit from the evolution of digital learning. So this year we are focused on learners. So we have invited a group of learners from each region of our country, and we will give them a chance to show us what they are doing with ICT to harness their learning.
When is this event taking place, sir?
It will be taking place next week. We are setting up on Monday the 6th, and then we have the official opening on Tuesday.
All right. Now, this event is being held under the theme Co-Creating Namibia's Digital Future. Could you please break down this theme for us and help us understand it?
The theme is future-focused, learner-led, co-creating the ICT future for Namibia. As I said, this year, unlike what we've done with the previous years, where we focused on the teachers, this year we want to be focused on the learners. And when you are focused on the learners, you are actually now trying to plant some seeds for the future. So what we are trying to do is to equip the learners on how to use technology to their benefit in terms of acquiring skills, knowledge, and we want to see an improvement in the learning outcome in the future. We want to see improvement in the citizenship in terms of ICT utilization and so on. So and that is why we have that theme, that we want to be future focused, learner led, because at the summit this year, we will have learners in France presenting different projects and demonstrations on what they are doing with the technology to help them to learn and perform better academically.
Now, what role do you believe educators can play to shape the digital future of Namibia?
Yes, you know very well it's not something that we can debate about, that our children at the moment are ICT fascinated. Some of them are obsessed, and the language that they speak is of technology. So we need to also adjust the teachers and the educators to speak that language, not as in English and Afrikaans or whatever, but in terms of communicating. The apparatus that they must use now to teach for the children to better understand them should be ICT influenced. And that is why also on the side, as much as we are focused on the learners this year, parallel to that, we will also be running training sessions for the educators for the managers. We have invited the regional directors, and we have invited industry leaders in the ICT space. And we'll put them in the same room, and then we'll talk to them about what is currently on the market, what is currently being used elsewhere in the world to convey knowledge, engage young ones, and for them to better acquire the necessary competence as per the national curriculum. So educators have a role to play. They have to adjust. Everybody needs to adjust if we are to perform better with the current generation, because this current generation is a 4G generation, and they are already better at ICT than most of us, and we have to adjust to that level where they are if we want to access their brain and be able to change it to what we want as a country.
Looking at the fact that you mentioned that the current generation is really already pretty much within the digital space, what skills would you say then are crucial to excel in the digital economy?
Well, we all know now that one of the biggest skills that you need to acquire now is how to converse and produce and utilize AI. You know, that is our first focus on how the educators and the learners can use AI to their benefit to increase their productivity in terms of syllabus coverage, in terms of getting the best videos to teach and demonstration, in getting the appropriate text and literature that would advance the content in the classroom. And then on top of that is the skill to use mobile learning. We all know that in most of our children and learners, they have handheld devices. And these handheld devices, if not properly guided, would be used for just time wasting. But the cell phone is a computer just like a laptop and a tablet and desktop. So we need to give the skills to our children and the teachers on how to use these handheld devices for teaching and learning purposes. That is the second one, very important. And the third one is to equip the teachers to move away from the traditional projection to some interactive technology where they are comfortable to interact with the children in the classrooms, where the children also have got an opportunity to touch the devices, to interact with the devices. And that is a very important skill in teaching, rather than having children sitting and just the teacher speaking to them or writing on the chalkboard and what. But we want our educators and our learners to be comfortable to converse using the devices, so much so that even if the children are either at home, maybe the child is not feeling well that day, or maybe the teacher is not feeling well, teaching and learning can still continue. So the child can log into our portal or whatever platform the school has to follow the lessons at school. And the third one is the skill where we are trying now to have one teacher teaching at one school, and the other 4 to 5 or 10, 20 schools can follow that teacher. So if we are able to identify in a particular region or area or circuit a teacher with a very good background of performance in a particular subject, we want to equip our educators that at one point or another, as many times as they can, we can have that teacher who is well known in the country, maybe it's teacher number 1 in economics, accounting, or whatever. When that teacher is teaching at the at the school where that teacher is stationed. Other schools where maybe it's a new teacher came in or maybe the teacher is not there can log into the ICT equipment, and then they can follow that lesson there with that good teacher teaching from that other point. And that other points they can just follow on the screen, and they can also interact live with that teacher there. So all these things are what we are trying to advocate for with this upcoming summit.
But how will you ensure that this summit is inclusive for all? Because if we are being realistic, Namibia still has a huge digital gap with rural areas being left out, especially some of the schools not having some of the tools that you are speaking about at the moment. So what policies are being considered to bridge that digital divide and ensure that there is inclusivity and it is applying across the country?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much for that question. That has been thorn in the flesh. We admit and acknowledge that we don't have the infrastructure in every school in Namibia, but we have to start somewhere and start moving towards that trend that is global. So what we will be doing at the summit, like we have done before, is to invite players in the IT space, as many as we can. And if they are listening to me now, they are welcome to contact me so that we can load them into the program for their demonstration. So what we have learned from the previous summit is that there are Namibians and other organizations in the region, SADC or internationally, who has good solutions for schools that are underprivileged. For example, schools in towns can have a connection to fast internet. But a school further in the remote, we can give them a device where we can have internet for them that is not live, but it has got sufficient content. And that device, they can install it in the school to work as an internet. It can even spread all over the whole school campus, so that, yeah. But then that is a bit not live. So whenever they come to town, they can bring that device, and then the device can update itself, and then they go back again. They will find new content like that. We have solar solutions where there's no electricity, where small panels can be installed to assist the school to have a printer and a laptop working. Also some screens, we have those solutions. Those people will be at the summit to showcase what is there for the underprivileged areas.
Mr. Ndafanongo, unfortunately we've run out of time, but we've understood that the conversation will be had, and there are platforms for engagement to help bridge that digital gap.
Yes, definitely we have made provision for that.
All right. Thank you very much for speaking to us this morning, and we wish you all the best with the summit's preparations and the summit when it begins.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to the Namibians.